Faithful ones, let this truth settle deep. Every hidden act, every whispered lie, every crooked plan clothed in secrecy, God saw it all. People often think that if no one sees them, they've gotten away with it, but biblically and even psychologically, the truth always finds a way to rise. Luke 12:2 says, "There's nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known." That's not just a verse, it's a divine law in motion. They thought the shadows would keep them safe. They believed their masks were unbreakable. But heaven doesn't stay silent forever. History and even behavioral science backs this up. Studies from institutions like the American Psychological Association reveal that deception carries a heavy cognitive load. Most liars eventually trip themselves up through inconsistencies. That's why research suggests around 80% of deceivers self-destruct without external intervention. And that last 20%, biblical precedent shows God deals with them directly. Just ask Pharaoh, Haman, or Judas. Swiftly, publicly, poetically. They didn't just dig your ditch, they furnished it, decorated it, and walked right into it themselves. And all the while you stood still and watched the Lord fight your battle, just like in Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. So what happens when the masks drop? When the schemes collapse? When God not only exposes but judges? It's called divine reversal. When Joseph's brothers betrayed him, it led to his promotion. When Haman plotted against Mordecai, he was hanged on the very gallows he built. That's not karma, that's kingdom justice. But before we dive deeper into this revelation, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop 99 in the comments to seal this word in agreement. 99 represents the lost sheep returning, the final moment before breakthrough and prophetic alignment. The old chapter is closing, and what's coming next will turn every betrayal into a blessing. Stay tuned, God's justice is just getting started. Number 1, the mirror effect, why they project their darkness onto you. Chosen ones, you're a divine mirror, keep shining, chosen ones. Let's get one thing straight. When you walk into a room, you don't just enter it, you shift it. Your very presence reflects like a divine mirror. People may smile, nod, or act indifferent on the surface, but internally you've already stirred something. And it's not because you're doing anything dramatic, it's simply because your energy, your essence, your light is doing what it was designed to do. Reveal. You don't just reflect the good, polished, Instagram-filtered versions of people. No, you reflect their truth. You reflect what they've buried, what they deny, what they've learned to keep hidden even from themselves. That's why they label you too intense, too sensitive, or accuse you of overthinking or imagining things. That's projection, baby. Classic psychological projection 101. According to Carl Jung, the parts of ourselves we reject are often projected onto others, so when someone feels discomfort in your presence, it's usually because your authenticity, empathy, or discernment is shining a big old flashlight on their shadow. And let's be honest, most people aren't ready to face that mirror, much less be grateful for it. See, your spiritual gift isn't just intuition or insight, it's illumination. You walk in truth. You are the truth in human form. And truth has a way of making people either run toward growth or sprint for cover. The hidden agenda of those who react negatively to you? Simple. They want to dim your light. Because as long as you shine, they're forced to acknowledge their own darkness. And that's uncomfortable, vulnerable, even painful. So instead of facing themselves, they try to make you the problem. But here's the real secret. You weren't sent to blend in, you were sent to disrupt. Not in a chaotic way, but in a divine, soul-shaking way. Your presence awakens challenges, and yes, sometimes annoys, but always with purpose. That's why it's crucial that you stay lit. Don't water yourself down to make others comfortable. Don't shrink so they don't have to grow. You're not here to entertain shadows. You're here to shine. And every time someone tries to dim you, take it as confirmation that your light is working. Keep reflecting, keep glowing, and let the mirror do what it was sent to do. Number 2, the isolation trap. Why they try to make you feel alone. Isolation isn't accidental, chosen one. It's a divine strategy. Isolation feels heavy, doesn't it? Like you're being punished or forgotten. But what if I told you it's not punishment at all? It's preparation. Chosen one, your isolation isn't some random misfortune or bad luck in relationships. It's strategic. There's a reason things and people fall away the moment you begin to awaken. The enemy knows that if you ever fully step into your power, if you ever truly connect with your divine identity and find your soul tribe, it's game over. That kind of alignment makes you unstoppable. Notice how fake friends start to disappear when you begin to evolve. It's not coincidence, it's pruning. When you grow boundaries and stop playing small, people who were never meant to stay start backing away. Relationships crumble, not because you did something wrong, but because you're finally doing something right. Speaking your truth makes some people uncomfortable, not because you're harsh, but because your light exposes their shadows. Gossip starts flying, whispers grow louder, and the very people you once supported now look at you sideways. Why? Because the moment you start shining, you challenge every version of you they benefited from. Here's the kicker. Their agenda is to make you feel isolated and rejected, to convince you that no one understands, that you're too intense, too deep, too much. But the truth is you're not too much. You're just too authentic for the artificial. You're not alone, you're set apart. That loneliness you feel is not absence, it's insulation, a divine cocoon, because transformation happens in the quiet. Diamonds form under pressure. Warriors are trained in solitude, and prophets, they're often rejected before they're respected. There's a profound biblical pattern in this. David was isolated before he became king. Jesus went to the wilderness before his ministry began. Even Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned before stepping into his divine purpose. So if you're feeling abandoned, misunderstood, or overlooked, congratulations, you're in good company. God hides his greatest warriors in plain sight. Why? Because when the time comes for you to rise, there will be no denying it was divine. The enemy tried to silence you through isolation, but joke's on them. It only gave you time to sharpen your sword. So keep rising, chosen one. Heaven doesn't waste isolation. It uses it to build legends. Number 3, the confusion campaign, gaslighting 101. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like your reality just got hijacked? You know exactly what was said, exactly how it made you feel, but somehow you're left second-guessing yourself. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm overreacting. Sound familiar? That, my friend, is not just miscommunication, it's gaslighting. And for the chosen ones, it's more than psychological manipulation, it's spiritual warfare. Gaslighting is the subtle, sinister art of making someone question their own sanity. It's not just lying, it's strategic confusion. And it's almost always used when someone feels threatened by your clarity. See, when you walk in discernment, when your intuition is razor sharp and your energy unmoved by appearances, that terrifies people who depend on deceit. They can't handle the fact that you're not easily fooled. So what do? They twist your words, flip the narrative, and serve up denial like it's gospel. Their goal, to scramble your inner compass so you won't trust it anymore. But chosen one, your discernment isn't something you learn from a book. It's divine, it's spiritual DNA. That voice inside you that says this doesn't feel right is your spiritual GPS, gifted to you by God for moments exactly like this. They might throw shade, but you see light. Their lies may fog the mirror, but truth, real divine truth, always shines through. Like sunlight breaking through the mist, your intuition always finds its way back to clarity. And guess what? They know you see them. That's what scares them the most. Gaslighting is often used against those who carry a prophetic voice, those who challenge illusions and speak inconvenient truths. It's not paranoia. It's not overthinking, it's prophecy. And if your presence disrupts someone's deception, don't shrink. That means you're doing something right. You were sent to be the light, not to blend in with shadows. So don't waste your time trying to convince people of your truth. Let your growth do the talking. Let your peace be your proof. Let your clarity be your comeback. The very people trying to confuse you will one day realize you were never the crazy one. You were the clear one. Stay rooted, stay aware, and above all, keep trusting that voice. Because that voice, that's heaven speaking through you. Number 4, the energy leechers, why they drain you and then blame you. Some folks don't come to love you, they come to plug into you. Yes, you heard that right. You, dear chosen one, are a walking spiritual charger. Your energy is radiant, your wisdom flows effortlessly, and your presence uplifts rooms like a sunrise cuts through fog. So naturally, people are drawn to you, not always to love or support you, but to feed off you. They show up with low vibrations, drained spirits, and confused hearts, hoping to fill their void with your divine light. But here's the kicker. Once their emotional or spiritual battery is full, suddenly you're the problem. Now you're too intense, doing too much, or too distant the moment you start setting boundaries. Sound familiar? It's because their true agenda was never to love you. It was to access you. They wanted your healing words, your grounded advice, your safe energy idea, but not your truth, not your boundaries, and certainly not your growth. When you no longer serve their need to recharge, they flip the narrative and paint you as the villain. Why? Because you dared to preserve your own power. Psychologically, this behavior is rooted in emotional parasitism, a phenomenon where individuals attach to those with strong emotional stability and drain them for their own benefit. According to psychology researcher Dr. Judith Orloff, empaths and highly spiritual individuals often attract emotional vampires. These people don't always do it consciously, but the effect is still damaging. Over time, it leaves the giver exhausted, confused, and questioning their own worth. But here's your wake-up call. You are not a spiritual buffet. Your energy is not for public consumption, and your heart is not a bottomless well for the thirsty to sip from without gratitude. It's time to set spiritual boundaries, not from bitterness, but from wisdom. Because not everyone who knocks at your door deserves to come inside. Some only want a seat at your table to drain your feast, then criticize your cooking. Chosen one, you must guard your light like a sacred flame. Let your kindness be intentional, not automatic. Let your love be earned, not expected. And most importantly, serve no plates to those who bring empty intentions and take home boxes for your soul. Your energy is divine. Treat it that way. Number 5, the reputation assassins. Why they spread lies in the shadows. Ever discovered that people were spreading rumors about you, people you barely even knew, let alone offended? It feels strange, even surreal. You didn't share secrets with them, you barely spoke to them, and yet they had so much to say. Why? Because your aura spoke louder than your words ever could. You didn't need to boast, argue, or explain yourself. Your presence alone carried a power they couldn't understand, and that terrified them. See, in psychology, this phenomenon is often rooted in projection. When individuals are uncomfortable with something in themselves, they project that discomfort onto others. So when your energy walked into the room, their insecurities got loud. You stirred something in them, a reminder of what they were not: confident, grounded, divine. Instead of leveling up, they tried to tear you down. And what do scared people do when they can't control you? They try to control the narrative about you. That's when the whisper campaigns begin. They start to build a version of you that fits their fear. She thinks she's better than everyone. He's too quiet, probably hiding something. Sound familiar? These tactics aren't new, they're ancient and weak. It's character assassination by those who lack the courage to confront the truth, that your light exposes their shadows. But here's the twist. God doesn't protect reputations, He protects truth. While they were busy networking lies, heaven was weaving your comeback story. Isaiah 54:17 says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." That's not just poetry, that's divine policy. And those false tongues, silenced, slowly but surely. Because truth doesn't need a defense team, it just needs time. The real ones see through the fog. The ones who matter will meet you and realize the rumors didn't match the royalty standing before them. That's when the narrative flips. That's when regret sets in for believing lies, for spreading them, and for underestimating you. So stand tall. You don't need to explain your worth. Let your walk speak louder than their talk. Their plan was to make you a villain, but plot twist, you're the hero, the light, the chosen, and their slander, it only highlighted your power. And number 6, the manipulation matrix, using love as a weapon. Some agendas don't come kicking down the door. They come in softly, wrapped in sweet affection, whispered promises, and emotional warmth. But beneath the tenderness, there's a quiet calculation. Yes, Earth Angel, some people didn't come into your life to love you. They came to study you. Like scientists with clipboards, they observed your habits, your weaknesses, your emotional triggers. They weren't drawn to your light with pure intentions. They were intrigued by your power and sought to control it. These individuals weren't obvious enemies. They played the role of the confidant, the supporter, the one who gets you, until you stopped performing the version of yourself they approved of. Then suddenly everything shifted. The affection grew cold, the support dried up. The love became a weapon and you were labeled difficult, too much, or selfish. Why? Because you chose self-respect over submission. Psychologically, this tactic is known as love bombing followed by devaluation, a pattern often seen in narcissistic manipulation. The goal? To break your boundaries slowly, to disarm you with affection so your discernment dulls. Conditional love is the currency of the manipulator. It feels like warmth, but it's really a leash. The confusion you felt wasn't weakness. It was your spirit resisting the lie. It was your divine intuition sounding the alarm. Because deep down, even when your mind was tangled in their words, your soul knew this isn't love. Their agenda wasn't just personal, it was spiritual. They wanted to hijack your purpose by hijacking your heart, by keeping you emotionally distracted, doubting yourself, and caught in cycles of validation seeking. They thought they could delay your calling. They weren't afraid of losing you, they were afraid of you fully realizing who you are. Because once a chosen one wakes up, the games are over. But here's the truth that turns the tables. Your heart was never meant to be a battlefield. It's a temple, sacred, powerful, and not for rent. And when you finally closed the doors to manipulation, you didn't lose love. You lost a test, a distraction, a decoy. So protect your temple, Earth Angel. Guard it not with bitterness, but with discernment. Because those who come with hidden motives may have studied you, but they underestimated your spiritual insight. And when they realize you saw it all along, that you let them believe they were in control, that's when regret begins to sit heavy on their shoulders. And you rise. Number 7, the divine setup, why it was all part of the plan. Here's the truth that sets it all ablaze. Chosen one, every attack against you was never meant to destroy you. It was engineered by divine hands to activate the warrior within you. The lies they whispered behind your back, the shade they threw when you weren't looking, the distance they created when you needed closeness most, it all served a higher purpose. God wasn't asleep when they plotted. He was allowing the fire to forge you. You see, pressure doesn't destroy diamonds, it perfects them. When they gossiped, he built your resilience. When they betrayed you, he gave you spiritual X-ray vision, the kind of discernment that cuts through fake smiles and sweet talk like a hot blade through butter. And when they left you alone, thinking you'd crumble in your solitude, God stepped in to show you that solitude wasn't a punishment, it was an invitation. In the quiet, you heard his voice clearer. In the isolation, you found your identity. The rejection wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You weren't cursed. No, you were called, marked, set apart, and now every hidden plan crafted in darkness is being exposed by light. Those masks they wore, cracking, the false narratives they spread, falling apart. Because when God decides it's your season, no force on earth or in hell can stop it. And your light, chosen one. It's not just glowing, it's blinding to those who tried to dim it. That unstoppable radiance is the proof that what was meant for evil was flipped into favor. So walk boldly, speak truthfully, shine unapologetically, because you're not the same person they once tried to break. You're the living proof that divine purpose thrives even in the midst of betrayal. And that, my friend, makes you absolutely unstoppable. Chosen one, this world didn't want you to wake up, but you did. And now every hidden agenda has become your testimony. You are not here to blend in, you're here to break patterns. You're here to shift atmospheres, you're here to lead. Keep your armor on, keep your spirit sharp, and above all, keep walking in truth. Because no hidden agenda can stop a soul anointed by God. Stay awake, stay divine, stay chosen. We'll see you in the next one.